It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go on a Thursday. 3-hour show and a 2-hour bag. Good to see you, fellas. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and CB. How we feeling?
I feel awesome, man. I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed in a good way with sports that I'm living life right now in a good way with just everything that's going on. NFL, college football, hockey, basketball. Like, this is it, man. And speaking of football, prime time tonight, baby.
Vikes.
Here we go.
Rams.
It's a big one.
That's right.
It's a big one. And it's on your favorite network, too, Amazon. So you'll really be locked in. Here we go, CV.
Get that stream going.
Yeah, man.
You know, I think we can go to the source button. It's not easy, but I know we like to talk on this program how when you're watching on Amazon, you are locked in. Everything else has to be on the phone or the laptop. But you can just have that source button handy, but then you got to go scroll a little bit. Yeah. There's a way. It's not great. There's a way through it, but you're right. Tonight, it's more of a lock-in for me to see if the Vikes can bounce back from an emotional loss against the Lions and then see if the Rams actually are willing to go away.
Speaking of the Rams.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, can we talk about Gold Jacket Thursday today?
Gold Jacket Thursday. If you've not heard, and I think, listen, we ask people if you want to go back and listen to some of these interviews. I think they're more historic interviews, which that's always the goal, is to bring knowledge to football fans in our fine city, knowledge of these legendary players. And so I think we're going to have to find a way, and I was talking to Fish earlier about finding a way to kind of create like a Rothman and Ice, like our own bust room, basically stack these interviews somewhere where then our listeners can actually find them, menu through them. Oh, I missed Kevin Mawai. I want to go listen to that. Or I missed.
Do we have bust in that room, you and I?
No, we're in there with the fine chamois, polishing them up, right? Creamed and buffed.
Oh, man. Hey, before you move on, because I'm loving that you're bringing this up, if you guys have missed anything, the interviews, Gold Jacket, if you ever miss anything from our show, wherever you get your podcasts, just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, 1 to 3, Monday through Friday, we'll be waiting for you. You can go back and catch up on all of them and subscribe. Don't forget, subscribe to the Rothman and Ice podcast as well.
Yeah, we appreciate you spending what we believe is a lot of your lunch hour with us and blowing off whatever early afternoon project you have to spend your time with us. So we hope we reward you for that. But as Maddie says, this was long overdue with Isaac Bruce getting in. This is a top 5 guy in yards still. And so let's get him on today. He's in Canton this weekend. So if you remember, it's tough because I lived through this era, and I know you guys are a little younger, so you guys, you've seen highlights, you know about this, but, and I don't bring this up to CB because it's probably going to make him cry even more, but prior to the 99 free agent period, he may already kind of know this story, the Rams, who had moved from L.A. to St. Louis in 95, I believe, they had to keep 5 guys unprotected for when the Brownies came back.
MC Hammer can't touch this.
That's right. Well, no. They left 5 guys unprotected. You actually could touch it.
Have it.
Yeah, and you could have it. And there was one guy that went unpicked, if my memory serves me correctly, by the Cleveland Browns, who, by the way, chose no Rams. They didn't choose, and who could blame them? They were a 4-win Ram team. Yeah. Nobody really, I'm sorry, came off yes, they came off 4 wins because they won the Super Bowl in 99. And they could have had Kurt Warner.
The Brownies.
Now, I'm not saying it would have turned out any better for them. Their history with quarterbacks, even if they've had, quote, a talented one, may have been used up and spit out and whatever and not worked. But they chose no Rams, and I don't know who their quarterback, I don't know what they were doing. I'd have to go back and look. And I guess Warner, and I think I've heard Kurt talk about this, that he and the Rams kind of were afraid that being selected by that they were going to be selected by the Browns. And because the Browns had hired John Huffnagel, And then John Huffnagel, for their coaching staff, Huffnagel had been a rival coach when Kurt Warner was tearing the Arena League, Matty, to ribbons.
Just cooking.
With the Iowa Barnstormers. Now, I know it's arena versus pro, and Kurt Warner is one of the great stories in all of NFL history. And I'll be very curious to hear from Isaac Bruce today at 2:33 on a Gold Jacket Thursday. Who is this guy? Did you know about him? What? Because Trent Green was their guy, and he goes down, Matty, in a preseason game, ACL. I think Rodney Harrison got him in a preseason game. There was a lot of thought maybe he went low on, now you can't go low or high on a quarterback. Hit him,
what can you do?
Well, between the shoulders and the knees, really.
That is quarterback.
It's a big target.
Way, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. I think it was 2 weeks ago where he, after the game, came up and said, hey, you know what? That wasn't a penalty on me. That wasn't roughing the passer. I appreciated a quarterback not being soft and saying that was a bad flag because they're protected way too much. I know why they are. They're the money makers. They're the headliners. I get it.
They're also in vulnerable positions, too.
Yeah, but some of these defenders, when they hit the quarterback and they're on their way down to the ground, you can't just, in
the body
half
weight.
A second, fall to the side. It's impossible
in
for
mid-air?
some of those guys. Yeah, you can't.
Pull a Dark Knight, just falling through the air, turn sideways.
I'm excited to talk to Isaac Bruce because I vividly remember where I was when I watched that Rams and Titans Super Bowl and how it came down essentially to that last play. And I don't remember exactly who was stretching out
I can tell you. Kevin Dyson.
Tight end for them. He played tight end, receiver for the Titans there.
Yeah.
I remember the emotion of that.
Do you remember who made the tackle?
No.
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones for the Rams. Yeah.
He didn't catch that, CB.
What?
Who? Mike Jones.
Oh, I don't know.
Played out well. I
don't know. Yeah, exactly. You got one for me, yeah.
But Isaac Bruce and what they called at the time the greatest show on turf was just absolutely electric. They won that Super Bowl. Yeah.
He was the one, I think, unless you just said, had the go-ahead touchdown.
No, I was just going to say that they won that Super Bowl, with Marshall Faulk doing nothing. Yeah. Marshall Faulk in the game, 17 carries. But the man we're going to talk to today, as you just mentioned, had that tutty and 162 yards in a Super Bowl.
It was an adjustment in the Super Bowl. He made that adjustment and had the go-ahead score. And then when Eddie and the Titans came back, you thought maybe they were gonna tie it up. But and Marshall Faulk, they gave up a couple picks to get him from the Colts. They assembled that thing. To me, it felt like overnight success. You can't go from 4 wins to being a Super Bowl champ. I just didn't think that was going to happen. I don't think anybody did. Mike Martz, when the Rams hired Mike Martz, was the quarterback coach for Washington at the time. And Vermeil said, okay, bring him in. And it's honestly one of the great Super Bowl runs. And the other part about it is they really should have won another. They should have. That team was too good. They went and they played the Pats, and I think that's when the Pats dynasty kind of started. But it's also when Spygate was kind of in its
smell right. Belly in the gang.
It didn't smell right because there was a lot of talk at that Super Bowl in '99 that the Pats were taping the walkthrough, and now I don't think it was ever proven. I don't know where those burnt tapes are, those Watergate tapes.
That's what they like to do over there. Smash cell phones, burn up tapes. This is what they do over there in Foxborough.
The Rams should have torn them apart. Yeah, but they didn't, and he got one, and he's in the Hall of Fame and will join us at 2:33. I listened to the coach's show today, and one of the quotes, something that Ryan Day said stuck out to me, and I just looked at the spread. Ohio State is a 25.5-point favorite against Nebraska. And I came in today thinking that this is the one that nobody in the world thinks they could lose. These are the kind of games that Ohio State has on their schedule that, honestly, before the season started, we might have looked at this as, okay, let's not take them for granted. Dylan Raiola, maybe they have a little bounce back. Is their defense going to be decent? And then something funny happened on the way through Bloomington, and they get completely their doors blown off. And now you've got, and Ryan Day said today, and he was talking about Nebraska, and he said all the right things, that he doesn't think the Indiana game was a reflection of what they'll be Saturday. And
That's
I don't know.
more about them
probably,
Hoosiers,
they probably very much could lose by 49 again to this Ohio State team. But I heard him say that the fans are going to be feeding off us this weekend. Like essentially,
we got to give them a reason.
No, they will be.
Oh,
meaning
okay.
He dropped the line today. You're going to see an angry Ohio State team out there on Saturday. Let's see what the Angry Birds, what that equals. But you have two teams. I mean, listen, Ohio State's been sitting for 2 weeks on a 1-point loss at Oregon, where I believe, unfortunately, the nation, maybe to their advantage, the nation, it's like they're a forgotten team now. They're like in the 5. This is like a club, Maddie, where the clubs you go to that you are 1 through 4 seed. Maddie doesn't wait. Maddie doesn't wait behind any velvet ropes. I feel like Ohio State's been put in the 5 to 12 pool, which is almost like we'll get to you.
You know how I get to do that, though, is because I get to name drop your name when I get to the front door. I just get to say, you know what my boy is? He's an Emmy Award winner.
That's your boy?
Say Anthony Rothman. They're just like, you know what? Come on in, sir.
Isn't it weird, though, that Ohio State feels like, and this is good again, that somehow a 1-point loss at Oregon suddenly means, well, they're a contender, but we don't have to worry about them for a little while. It's weird.
It's the big picture stuff, I think. More so than, you could, work through the Oregon game and look at the positives. And there were some positives, but when you look at, I think what I mean by big picture is just where this program's been in the big games recently. And for Ohio State fans, yes, you better take care of Nebraska. But what's going to happen when you turn the page next week and take on Penn State because of how things have gone against some of the elites around college football the last few years? So, yeah, I fully expect them to come out and be locked in. They better be. They have no choice, because if this thing starts to slide over the next couple of weeks, then we got to talk about a massive issue and how this season has really gone south. But I don't expect that to be the case at all. So you got some injury things that you now have to overcome. It was interesting to hear Coach Day mention at his presser this week that he spent more time than usual on the defensive side of things with Jim Knowles and those guys. So that'll be interesting to see how it shows itself there and what he felt like he needed to accomplish by doing that, because we know Coach Day is an offensive guy. He's a well-rounded head coach. I fully understand that, but where he's made his money throughout his career is on the offensive side of the ball and lighten up the scoreboard. So you're right. Vegas is expecting them to handle business. You still got to give respect to Nebraska, though, even though we just watched them get their teeth kicked in by an Indiana Hoosiers team on the road. They're 5-2. This isn't a team coming in here that's 1-6 or 2-5, and you can look at their schedule, and I totally understand that. But Ohio State has to establish, again, a level of dominance against an opponent that they should handle, and that's got to be from start to finish come Saturday at high noon.
Yeah, I mean, listen, from both coaches' standpoint, you would wanted something different to happen. Both coaches would have wanted the other guy to win before this game, because if Ohio State beats Oregon, yes, the bye week would have allowed them to come down from the emotion, but it still would have been top of the world, number 1 in the country, with Texas losing. Like, all of a sudden, everything would have changed. Like, think about how weird the narratives are between a 1-point loss, because if they win that game, if they get a kick and they win it, they're number 1 in the country, and all of a sudden they are the it team again. And then they lose by 1, and all of a sudden it's, okay, 5 to 12 pool, family swim. We'll let you know when you can come in the pool.
And that's why
again.
I'm not in that crowd. I'm not in that crowd. They're absolutely, to me, amongst the contenders around college football, and I still think have a great opportunity to be the last team standing.
I do feel like there is a narrative that because Oregon beat them once by 1 at home, that somehow they're gifted the next if it happens game in Indianapolis.
Ohio State is?
No, that Oregon's like gifted it, but nationally in brackets and this, because they won one, you got to put somebody somewhere, so they're putting them there. All right, we'll get after it. You'll hear more from the Buckeyes, TreVeyon Henderson, and the ownership of that game out in Eugene and putting it in the past. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome to the plus side, where a AAA Plus membership means that an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day, and where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party. Because on the plus side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With AAA Plus, tire changes, battery swaps, and emergency fuel are just a tap away. AAA gets to you faster, and if you need a tow, we'll take you further. Become a member today and experience peace of mind on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Common Man here for Care Heating and Cooling. Weather is unpredictable, but the inside of your home should be comfortable just the way you like it. And the best way to avoid those unnecessary surprises is with a care plan. See, with a care plan, you get priority service, system maintenance in case of an emergency. Just another way to give you and your family peace of mind. And maintaining your systems properly can help save you money. A properly maintained furnace and air conditioner run more efficiently, reducing your utility usage. Regular maintenance also prevents breakdowns and extends the life of your equipment. I'm on the care plan, and I'm quite the expert. I'll stop by and give your system a once-over. I will. Don't tempt me. I end every commercial the same way, telling you to hire Care when you need a company you can trust. It's not just a slogan. That's the Care creed. How about this? Lennox. They have thousands of dealers nationwide. HVAC royalty. Last year, Lennox gave Care their coveted Partner of the Year award because they're trusted by their customers and their partners. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
Hey there, friends, it's Bo Bishop. Join us for the Make a Difference Gala at High Bank Distillery in Grandview. Taste new fan barrel picks and support the Third and Goal Foundation. Tickets are on sale now at 971thefan.com. 21 or older, please drink responsibly.
We all know Central Ohio's growing fast. It's making traffic worse and life more expensive. That's why voting yes on Issue 47 is so important. Issue 47 will help folks get to work faster and cheaper by creating Coda Rapid Bus Service. That means more routes, better hours, and more reliable service. That will expand access to transportation for everyone in our community, from the elderly to the disabled, to veterans and students. And Issue 47 will make our neighborhoods safer and more walkable by building 500 miles of sidewalks, trails, and bikeways. When we pass Issue 47, we'll get $1 billion in matching funds from the federal government to pay for it. We're already sending our tax dollars to D.C. Let's bring some of that money home to help our community. Issue 47 means safer neighborhoods and a better quality of life for our families. It's an easy call. Vote yes on Issue 47. Paid for by moving Central Ohio forward.
Hey, folks, it's game day, and the betting's going to be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right. You got to pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Time now to check in on that weather report. High pressure will deliver a beautiful day today. Highs in the low 60s. Warmer tomorrow with a high of 70. There will be a few scattered showers on Friday afternoon. Sunny and chilly on your Saturday with a high of 60. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
It's Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, Buckeyes get back on the home field, high noon. Should feel good for them. Trap game or not, I don't know. It felt like one of those on the schedule. If you looked at it before the season, Nebraska fell after Oregon, but the bye week was built in. So whatever was going to happen in Eugene, Maddie, was going to hopefully be ancient history in the second week, in the prep week for Nebraska, which I think it is.
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of a look-ahead spot because Penn State is looming on the other end? Maybe. So Nebraska, when I looked at the schedule for the year, I always thought, wow, that's the one. Like, I was trying to identify, like, which one. And I know a lot of people said Iowa because Iowa was going to be better.
In the week before Oregon.
And it was the look ahead to Oregon.
Right.
So that made sense. I'm not denying that. But I always thought that this was the game. And then
I was with
Raiola, too. Like, the fact that maybe they could keep up with points, that maybe he would be considered such a X factor in a way for them. Their defense was supposed to be improved. Matt Rule every now and then might be able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. They pounded Nebraska last time they were here. Not as bad as Indiana pounded them last week.
Talk about it.
But they did whack them pretty good by 40 or 41 when they played here last, I believe.
I was on the same page with you with that, because I was sitting here saying, I think prior to anything kicking off, that you look at their schedule, and I said, I think there's a chance that Nebraska comes into the shoe on October 26th at 7-0. What I didn't have on my bingo card was the Indiana Hoosiers absolutely being the surprise team, not only in the Big Ten, but I think in all of college football. So you look at their 2 L's, that being the Cornhuskers. It's an overtime loss to a good Illinois team at home on a Friday night. And then you just went on the road and went up against a buzzsaw and one of the best offenses in the conference right now in Indiana. So their losses are respectable, but it's just coming out of what we just saw in Bloomington in front of a national audience, and you equate what Indiana has as far as firepower and talent to what Ohio State has coming off a bye, and that's why I can understand why Vegas looks at it one way, and a lot of people feel very comfortable about this, but you better respect what a young freshman can do if you don't get home and create pressure. And I know that was a big issue that we talked about coming out of the Oregon game, because he is a talented, while being a freshman, I get it, he is very talented with his arm, and if you give him time, he can dice you up in certain spots.
Listen, Ohio State should play the way Indiana defense played against him. I mean, they swarmed to the ball. They blew up wide receiver screen plays. They didn't let him throw it deep down the field. They just basically corralled them defensively, and you would expect Ohio State. You know, we had in Carp yesterday. He said the same thing. It's like, listen, well, you can respect this shocking Indiana season, the fact that they're undefeated, even though they haven't played a ranked team, but you can be shocked by that and also then in the same breath say, but yeah, Ohio State is a national contender amongst the best, talent-wise, experience-wise, everything, that this is one of those weird games, because the worst thing that happened to Nebraska, besides last week, was that Ohio State lost to Oregon, and they've been sitting on it for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It's the worst thing. And then for Coach Day, it's like, well, let's not worry about them. I've got all the anger in my room I need to work with. He even said it today. Like, I think the scariest thing for him, and he would have taken this 100 times out of 100, was to try to tamp down the confidence if Ohio State would have vaulted to number 1 before this game, and then Nebraska gets beat 56-7, and then it's like, hey, let's work on Penn State this week. Like, honestly, I think now, at least, at the very least, he has his own team's attention. And here's TreVeyon Henderson talking about kind of the ownership of it with coach of the Oregon game.
That was like the biggest focus when we came in after that loss and met as a team. It's just like Coach Day really did a good job of that. You know, it's just like, man, we all got to own up to the mistakes that were made. But, you know, one thing I love and respect about Coach Day is that he took it upon himself. You know, he called himself out and was like, that's on him. But it's on all of us, you know, as a team. And so that's one thing I really love about Coach Day, is that, you know, he was willing to check himself.
So the most important thing about that loss, outside of the real substance of it, which was, you know, the defense not doing its job and at the back end getting torched by some very talented people, was that they came out of it not losing themselves, not making it bigger than it is. It's big, but it's not the end of the world. And when you have talented teams that feel like that their destiny is to win it all, and they lose a game that maybe they're not expecting to lose, sometimes the biggest worry is focus, staying together, not pointing fingers. It's cliche, but it's true. And so that'll be important, because I said it right after they lost the game. You can't be talking about how everybody came back for a singular focus and how we're hungry and humble and all that. Lose a tough game, lose a tough one.
To a good team.
And then, to a good team. maybe a great team, and then all of a sudden fall apart. Like what that would have told me is that stuff you were selling before the season wasn't real.
It was baloney.
It wasn't real, and it wasn't tangible. And now you feel like, okay, now they have a chance to prove that everything they were saying is true. Remember when Coach Day started talking about, the storm, there'll be a storm, there'll be adverse. How do we get past that? Well, now they're here to some degree, and nothing is off the table. In fact, they should be even hungrier to prove that they are who we think they are. And I think the biggest thing for a Ohio State fan, what they're wondering right now is, while they're very good, are they great? And we may not know that until another week.
That's
and even more.
That's something that, Nick Saban mentioned on his sit down with McAfee, is that you look at Ohio State. He was talking about their defense and some of the takeaways he had against Oregon. And he said, you go up and down their schedule, and it's, the Marshalls and the Akrons and the Spartys and all those teams, and they should look that way, right? But when you get into an Oregon type of situation, you're giving up the amount of big plays that they've given up. Are they truly a great team? And that's yet to be seen. And they've got another opportunity to do that next week when they take on what is right now, I believe, the third-ranked team in the country in Penn State. But that's where the focus, I think, will be, is what you were highlighting. And this team has been tabbed as a mature football team, and they are that just based off of their experience and the amount of guys that have been around the sport for a long time now. But that's where this can show itself in a positive way, is guys saying, we know what we need to do. It's great to hear our coach take ownership of that, and that is good to hear from TreVeyon that Coach Day spoke to the team and owned some of the things that he thought he did incorrectly as the head honcho. But when you have the Will Howards and the TreVeyons and the JTs and the Jacks, and just the list goes on both sides of the ball of guys that have been around for a minute, that group can get themselves together and should be able to do that. So that should bring, I think, some comfort to that roster over there. But also knowing, because of the way things are structured around college football right now, our season is very much alive. And so the pressure of dealing with one loss in the way that we felt it in the past is nowhere near what it is now. Not that you want to take your foot off the gas at all and feel comfortable that, hey, we're good all the way around, because we know that's not the case. But they don't need to apply even more pressure on themselves in a bad way, because I do think when you do that, that's when teams can stumble into some sticky situations and your season can really go off the rails.
Yeah, remember before the season we talked about the one thing that was hanging over this team was the Michigan fiasco, and we kept saying, well, you can't beat Michigan tomorrow. You can only be as good as you can be all the way up till November 30th, and then be the team you hope that you are. Now it's the message is you can't beat Oregon until maybe December 5th or 6th or whatever it might be, and that's even if you play them. So they've got to take care of business. I agree with you. The Penn State thing is real. They'll go to Madison, and if they don't get upset, then you'll have exactly a headliner type affair going to Happy Valley at noon. When we come back, let me just put this in perspective for you, because we'll do our NFL picks against the spread. Now that we're through 7 weeks, the quarterbacks that were all picked up by teams the last few days, they're not playing, but they were all picked up. Desmond Ridder,
my God,
Bailey Zappi, and C.J. Beathard. Those guys were all picked up. That should tell you what's going on with quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Depth, now that we're 7 weeks in.
We had it last year.
Yeah.
I think the number was, like 50 or 60 guys made starts around the league. It's crazy.
Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Tim Boyle got in games last Sunday. We'll pick them against the number next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Thank you for calling Great Lakes. Great Lakes Kia.
Do you like scary movies?
Nah, they don't scare me.
What does scare you?
High car payments. They make me want to scream.
And at Great Lakes Kia?
We have brand new Kias under $5 a day. Come pick one out.
Maybe I'm already here.
Cool. Lease new 24 Kia Forte LXS, EV6 Wind, and Sorento LX. All three under $5 a day.
That's only $139 a month for 24 months.
Plus new 24 Kia Telluride LX under $8 a day.
$249 for 24 months.
At Great Lakes Kia.
What if I have scary credit?
No problem. Get approved with 0% financing.
Perfect. And I'm right behind you.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Great cars, great people, Great Lakes Kia.
In Columbus, GreatLakesKia.com.
Can I hang up now?
To qualified buyers, visit GreatLakesKia.com for details.
You go into your shower feeling
But as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Bishop and Friends.
You can't really judge what this team is or not. You know it's talented. Until you're punched in the mouth, you don't really know what you have.
Bishop and Friends.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change will help ease your oil change-anxiety. Picture expert technicians who are quick, but not rushed. When you hear the bell, breathe in and out. Now, let go of your oil change-anxiety. Visit Valvoline Instant Oil Change today and find automotive peace. No appointment needed.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah. And with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice, NFL picks.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
All right, CB. What you got?
Yeah, so pretty funny week last week. So, as you know, I was out, and also Matty Ice was out. So he sent in his picks. A very decent set of picks he sent in, but then he changed one of them. He originally went with Houston getting 2.5 against Green Bay, and then about an hour later emailed us back with a change to the Packers.
I wasn't on that email.
Well, I at least got it.
I just sent it to him. He was the old. What time did I
But
send
it was
that?
the AR special. Right? It was about an hour later.
It was in time.
I love the fact that he changed it.
I don't, because I should have copied all your picks. Is this record right that I'm looking at?
So it was a very good week. I actually did not put down
end of the week too. I would have probably been a lot better than that.
I did not put down Dave Biddle's line on this, but he went 5-10, so not a very good debut for him. But Ice, you went 7-8. AR, you went 10-5. So the overall is AR's at even 500 at 52-52, and Matty Ice, you're 49-55.
You were cooking.
I should
last
quit
week.
now. Like literally stop making. No, but I mean it's. The best of the best of the best are probably going 60% over a season, and we were talking about that this weekend. Nobody knows anything.
We're Jon Snow. We know nothing.
Yeah. All right.
Started off.
All right, the Thursday night matchup.
Start tonight.
Yes, with your Vikings. They are a 2.5-point road favorite over the Rams.
It's weird because I feel like with Kupp coming back, maybe Hawkinson on the other side.
Maybe Nakua,
I think the Vikes have until tomorrow at 3 to actually activate Hawkinson, which they will because he's not going back on IR, because if he went back on IR, his season would be over. So they're either going to activate him soon to get him ready for tonight's game, or they just let one more game get away. I'm having a problem here because I want to be consistent. I've been mental hedging the Vikes all season, so why would I change now? Right? Why would I change now?
Because you don't think the Rams are going to beat you guys. You don't. I think
that Darnold has come back to earth a little bit. I do think that Jared Verse is going to get after him tonight. I think that the Rams being not at home, not like a home field advantage, Vikes coming off their first loss, I really don't know how they're going to react.
Are you really going to take 2.5 points? You're not.
All right. I'll tell you what.
Come on,
I'll tell you what. Now that the Vikes have lost a game, you're right. Everything goes away. So let me have the Vikes.
Here we go.
And I'll lay the 2.5.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right, on to Sunday, the 1 o'clock window. You've got the Bengals, a 2.5-point home favorite over the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Bengals. I'm going to lay these. Jamar Chase has been awesome. Leads the league in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. I'm going with Houday in the jungle.
You can really make the case that they would have won 4 in a row if they just held on against your Ravens and didn't collapse. The Bengals are actually cruising a little bit. I do feel like that this is certainly a toss-up game, and Barkley and company against this Bengal team does not excite me for them. But I'm with you. I'm going to take the home team. They're better than their record, even though the Eagles got their revenge there against the Giants with Barkley. I'm going to take the home team and lay again, less than a field goal.
All right, next up, the Ravens, a 9-point road favorite over the Browns.
Maddie convinced me of this yesterday, and I picked up Jameis because both my quarterbacks are going to be, with Jaden Daniels probably not playing. Jameis versus this defense that's like 27th in per play defense.
Mm-hmm. Leaves the door open.
Boy, it leaves the door open for a Niner here. They could have covered against Cincy. They didn't.
Yeah.
Got to be stupid, right?
Take the points. Our defense is horrible.
Yeah. But your offense is good enough to cover 9. But against their defense, it may not be. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible, but I'm doing it.
I'm popping bottles with CB in the Muni lot. Give me the 9.
All right, next up, the Lions are a 11-point home favorite over the Titans.
I'm going to actually take the 11. Horrible quarterback play for Tennessee, but their defense is number 1 in the league in yards allowed. So I'm going to take the 11 and roll with Tennessee. Detroit's still getting the dub.
Well, they blitzed Darnold like 40% of the time. They got 4 sacks out of it. I can't imagine they're not going to do the same to Mason Rudolph. They're at home. I'm a little worried about the emotional win. So
why'd you say his name like that?
Oh, did I say it? I don't know how I said it.
It didn't sound like you got a lot of love for Mason Rudolph.
No, I'm just saying their secondary is kind of beat up too. I'm actually going to lay the lumber.
Okay.
All right, the Dolphins, a 3.5-point home favorite over the Cardinals.
Might have had a little bit of Mel Kiper twinge to it. Boy, they must think Tua's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler's been horrible converting on third downs. Maddie knows that.
Unfortunately.
And I think there's a lot of buzz if Tua comes back. Oh, this is an awful game to pick. Can I expect that much out of him in game 1?
Of course you can. What Tyreek Hill said, fire up the bleeping band.
I'll take Miami.
Yeah, I'm laying the 3.5. Tua's back, and Arizona's just not very good, and Kyler's not taking care of Marvin. I'm laying 3.5.
The Jets, a 7-point road favorite against the Patriots.
This is weird to me. This is weird. Is Hassan Reddick playing? Does anybody know? That would be a major thing for me.
Aaron Rodgers is playing, and that may not be a good thing.
Correct, because he got a hammy.
No, I don't know if he's playing. I really don't know.
Okay, I'm going to take the 7 and roll with New England.
Absolutely. They've lost 24-3 the first time around with Brissett. I think that being soft and playing soft are 2 different things. Gerard Mayo taught me that. So I'm going to take the 7 as well.
The Falcons are a 2.5-point road favorite over the Buccaneers.
Isn't this the game that Cousins threw for 500 plus again? Wasn't that the game?
It back already?
I think it was.
Interesting.
I almost feel like that was the one, like 3 weeks ago.
I mean, there was a couple seasons ago where the Browns and Ravens played 2 games in a 3-week stretch.
I'm taking the Falcons. They just got trounced by Seattle last week.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They're going to be ticked off. I'm taking Atlanta. No Godwin. Maybe no. I don't know what Evans
is out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm laying the 2.5. Give me Kirk Cousins in the swag, sir.
The Packers are at the Jaguars. It's Packers -4.
Shout out to Brian Thomas, by the way, for the Jaguars. Rookie wide receiver out of LSU. He is absolutely balling. Green Bay, those putting it together. I'm going to lay the 4 and roll with them down in Duval County.
Yeah, it was fine to take the Jags when they were staying in London. Now they're back home on U.S. soil. I'm taking the Packers. Their pass defense is still not good. I'm talking about the Jags.
The Houston Texans love to play against the Colts defense, but it's Texans -5.
Maybe Johnny Taylor back. Plus, I think the Colts are the best team in the NFL against the spread this year. So I'm taking the 5.
Yeah, I'm going to just lay the 5 here and roll with CJ. Anthony Richardson is too much of a roller coaster for me right now to just trust anything that they're doing on offense. So give me H-Town in that handful of points, CB.
The Chargers, a 7.5-point home favorite over the Saints.
Yeah.
Rattler's still the quarterback, and it sounds like Kamara has a broken hand he's playing through.
He just got an extension, too, so that's interesting. I'm going to lay the 7.5 and roll with old Jimmy in the game.
I thought Carr might rush back for this one. I don't know, but I'm going to assume it's Rattler. I'm going to take Herbert. He had a huge week last week, even with drops. I don't like laying that hook with the 7, but I'll do it.
The Bills are a 3-point road favorite over the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills in this one. I know the Seahawks got a big win last week. DK is questionable now. Amari in his second game, probably a little more comfortable. I'll take Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with you on that. Give me the Buffalo Wings.
The Broncos are a 10-point home favorite over Carolina.
Bryce Young is back. That's pretty easy for me. I know what that looks like. I'm laying the 10. Denver's defense is nasty.
Oh, yeah. Their defense against Bryce Young getting thrown back into this, even though it's tough to cover 10, but they are home. I'll do it.
Kansas City's a 9.5-point road favorite over the Raiders.
Yeah, I know that. I think the Raiders got a backdoor cover last week. I think the defense that Kansas City still has, plus they can still run the ball. I know it's a divisional matchup, but I'm going to lay the 9.5.
Yeah, I think this is the D-Hop coming out party. I love that you mentioned Kansas City's defense. They get to tee off on Gardner Minshew with Chris Jones up front. I'm laying the 9.5.
The Bears are a 2.5-point road favorite over the Commanders.
Doesn't sound like Jaden's going to play. That's a problem for Marcus Mariota going up against a good defense. Give me Chi-Town. I'm laying the 2.5.
Yeah, Swift should have a big day. Taking way too many favorites, though.
Sunday Night Football, the 49ers are a 4-point home favorite over Dallas.
Yeah, you can't trust Dallas anytime. You can somewhat maybe still trust San Fran if their season's on the brink. They can still run. They're still running against a bad run D, and I don't think Dallas can block both, so I'm going to lay the 4.
Call me crazy,
but
I'm doing it. I'm going to take the 4 and roll with Dallas.
Sunday Night Football, the Steelers are a 6.5-point home favorite over the Giants.
This is Danny Dimes versus Mr. Unlimited, and guess what I'm doing? I'm rolling with Mr. Unlimited.
I think Neighbors is back, right, for this one?
Yes, sir.
That should matter. 6.5 is tough, but the way the Steelers were putting up points last week, I got to do it as well.
It's just a problem when you lost your left tackle and you got to deal with T.J. Watt and company. So, yeah, I'm going with the Steelers.
Mr. Unlimited.
There he is.
Boy, I reserve the right to change some of those picks, man. My goodness, I'm on a lot of favorites. Brutalness. All right. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin. You hear from Emeka Ibuka and company as they try to turn the page fast this week and the feeling he has right now with this team. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
The Super Sale is back Friday and Saturday only at Meijer. Shop super low prices on game day and tailgate favorites like Hillshire Farm Little Smokies, just $3.49. Fresh from Meijer vegetable or fruit trays, buy one, get one for $1. And hell of a good refrigerated dips, buy one, get one free. Shop super low Meijer prices while supplies last and get the same prices in-store and online. Shop the Meijer Super Sale this Friday and Saturday only. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Trust & Will knows that you're likely celebrating a loved one's birthday this month because fall is the most popular birthday season in America. And Trust & Will celebrates by protecting what matters most. Trust & Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, designed by attorneys but customized by you. Visit trustandwill.com with offer code Columbus for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust & Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another furnace breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day furnace installation.
All right, as you know by now, Ohio State favored by 25.5 over Nebraska this Saturday at noon. Ohio State fourth in the country at 5-1, sitting behind Penn State, Georgia, and Oregon, but now ahead of Texas, who lost. And there's Miami, still undefeated, by the way. Maybe that's not as surprising as Indiana, but certainly I think people thought Miami would be decent this year, but maybe not quite 7-0. They've had some very lucky outcomes, but they've been on the right side every time, and Tennessee comes back to earth, and then they bounce back. So who knows who they are. Yeah, it's just been a wild season, and it's been a fun season. Bama's the one that now is in, you beat Georgia, and it's all of a sudden like, oh, my goodness, Bama's still Bama. and then you lose to Vandy, and then you lose at Tennessee.
Their season's on the line.
And now they're playing Missouri this Saturday. And I agree with you. 3 I know they win a lot of tiebreakers, and that Georgia win should grant them a lot of weight in that room.
Yeah,
but I don't know. If you want to overcome 3 losses, they have the ammunition to do it because they will have beaten Georgia when they were number 2 in the country.
But there's no promise that you run the table, you lose to Missouri this Saturday.
Then they got to go. Well, what if they beat Missouri and then lose at LSU?
But I'm just saying, if you lose to Missouri going into Death Valley, it's not sweet at all. We know that is absolutely a salty place to play and can be very, very tough for anybody. Oklahoma now on their schedule doesn't look as daunting as it did to start the year just because of their issues and where they're at right now and just trying to figure out who their quarterback is. But Alabama absolutely is going to be must-see TV come Saturday afternoon because, to me, their season is absolutely on the line.
And who's dinged up in that one,
Yeah,
CB?
so it sounds like I'm sure you saw the news that Brady Cook for Missouri actually went to the hospital during their last game against Auburn, tried to come back actually to the facility and play the end of that game. It sounds like he's very much doubtful for Saturday.
You know what team I haven't heard much about is Iowa State. Like this Iowa State team just lurking in the 10-hole right now, 7-0, excuse me. Nobody's really talking about them at all, but they're a top 10 team. With a donut in the L column right now.
I think when they came back down, whatever, it was 13-0 to Iowa and beat them, I think that was the moment they opened my eyes a little bit that, okay, maybe they are a little better than we thought. But you're right. They're kind of a forgotten team now, too. Ohio State is never going to be forgotten, but sometimes they get kind of, moved to the side a little bit. And I think that's what's happened here after the loss against Oregon. And I always said it before the season, they're probably the last team you want to see coming up through the 5 seed or 6, 7. That's not the team you want to see. But they don't expect to be there. They still expect to be a top 4 team at the end. Emeka Egbuka with the 40 catches leads Ohio State in that category. Still has the 6 touchdowns. We know what Jeremiah Smith has become this year. Emeka gives you kind of a feeling of where they are right now.
After obviously the game that we had down in Eugene, it was easy for a lot of people on the team to get down, but being that it's a 12-team playoff and it's a long season, and the top 2 teams in the Big Ten go to the Big Ten championship. So obviously it sucks to drop one like that on the road, big game, top 5 matchup, but we have bigger goals than just winning a game on the road. We have goals for the entire season. So our plan is to make a huge run. We have games that we have to take care of coming up, and hopefully we're able to see them again.
That's it. He put it in a nutshell. It's exactly right. And the leaders on this team have to make sure that the goals all stay intact and the confidence remains where it is, and that starts this week. Ryan Day, did Maddie talk about Lathan Ransom and that injury that he has and where that status is?
There's nothing long-term there anyways. He'll be day-to-day right now. He's improving very well. We'll see how tomorrow goes.
Rather have him for Penn State, but I know they want him in there if they can have him.
They would never admit what you just said, but I think that's absolutely. We gave him some true serum and say, you know what? We got dudes. We may be able to get by Nebraska without him. Going into Happy Valley next week, they are Happy Valley, right? Because I know I just said Death Valley for LSU. I just didn't want to get those Happy Valley over there next week. Penn State's offense, they woke up this year, so having Lathan on the back end would be very, very big there, obviously. With his skill set, I want to go back to what the clip we heard from Emeka, because I liked his honesty in acknowledging, knowing that the college football playoff is what it is at this point, right? Because he just talked about the 12-team field, and I think that was some good stuff there from him, and him not really just, playing it by the book like we hear from players and coaches all the time. Like, acknowledge, yes, we burned one of our get-out-of-jail-free cards, but the season is not over, and so this has just got to be a week-by-week, step-by-step process, and it starts with Nebraska this week. But, yeah, you laid out the numbers for Emeka. He's been awesome, and that's just – you got to be happy for a guy that went through some injuries last year, wasn't able to showcase what we know he is, and he's doing that this year and bringing along a young freshman in Jeremiah Smith who's going to be a star for years to come. That duo has been incredible, but it's good to see Emeka get off the mat from last year just because of injury alone and showcase that I'm one of the best wide receivers around the country.
He's a leader. That's what leaders do. It doesn't matter whether you have this young phenom that came in. He's got to do his job, and There's no envy or jealousy or I got to have more stats than he has. He's been terrific. He's really talented. We know how many games he's started. And he's a guy that certainly, what did I say? He has 40 catches. I think he needs, which he'll break. He'll break KJ Hill's school record, right? Of total catches, I believe.
Okay.
I've got to check that, but if they play the games they're supposed to play, and they are who we think they are,
he's got a chance
he should. Well, he should. It's almost like he's a favorite to do it.
Okay.
So I'll keep a watch on that. All right. Let's also hear from Coach Day on the way teams are defending them.
I think one thing that's unique about college football is everybody has their own style of defense, and so what we're facing this week is very different than what we faced last week and the week before and the week before, and that's just college football. But I do think, with Will's ability to run, we're running the ball much better, that you're starting to see some different things. Like, for instance, in the week before against Oregon, we saw some base personnel to 11, and, so we're starting to see that, maybe, less than we had, in the past. So other than that, it's been similar, but I think maybe a little bit more, bodies in a box, I would say.
Yeah, no doubt. They're gonna bow up against them the best they can. That is today's Buckeye Bulletin. All right, when we come back, Max Chadwick will jump in our deep dive, PFF college football reporter. Who does he trust now? And the fact that Oregon beats Ohio State, does that mean they'll be better when it counts most? We'll ask him next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Post Malone is teaming up with Raising Cane's to empower the next generation of artists. For a limited time, 2 exclusive double-sided Post Malone posters are available at Raising Cane's. So post up your combo at Cane's while supplies last and support a good cause. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey, it's Anthony. If you want to make the best deal in town on a new Honda, make sure you visit my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. They're on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. And Rich tells me you're going to get 1.90% APR up to 60 months on most new 24s and 25 Hondas. They'll give you the details. Of course, you'll get same-day service, no appointment needed. And how about an extra $1,000 for your trade if you have a 2014 or newer vehicle? All with the great people at Germain Honda of Dublin.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed a musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where Ohio Basement Authority comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at ohiobasementauthority.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Gambling too much? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Mary Heben, where we offer in-person, virtual, and group options. We're here for you no matter what, and that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Go to maryhaven.com today.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Timmy Hall. This Ohio State football team is going to be looking for everyone's very best in the final 6-game stretch in the regular season to see if they can run the table to finish 11-1 and get that trip to Indianapolis. Starts Saturday with a home noon kickoff versus Nebraska. Emeka Egbuka, he's got 40 catches, 526 yards, and 6 touchdowns on the season. He says he's seen some inspired play from the DBs in practice since the Oregon loss.
You know, there's 2 different responses that you can get. You can get down in the dumps or you can use it as motivation. And I've definitely seen the second with our DBs. They kind of took it personally, and they're looking to do some amazing things down this last back half of the season.
NFL tonight on The Fan after the Buckeye Show, Vikings at the Rams right here. This one is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. Broncos, Explorers, Mustang Mach-E's, and more. Ride into autumn with Valley Ford of Columbus. Breaking sports news on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Maxima Concrete. Visit MaximaConcrete.com today to schedule your free estimate.
All right, final hour of the program. Gold Jacket Thursday, 2:33. Don't miss Isaac Bruce, Pro Football Hall of Fame receiver from the greatest show on turf, the 99 St. Louis Rams. We will talk with Max Chadwick here in a couple of minutes about college football, the rankings, the projections, and who he trusts. I brought this up to you guys yesterday that now that Oregon's number 1, I'm wondering how comfortable that is a spot for them. Like, yes, you got to give it to them. Best team in the Big Ten. But you're wondering whether you'd want to be, I guess you got to have it. You got to take it. Of course, you're going to win. I keep coming back to the poll I did when you guys were gone, which was I put out there, and this, I know it's biased because we're in Columbus, Ohio, but I put out there to Buckeye fan who was kind of down on their team. So I thought, you'd be hitting, maybe you'd wash out the bias with a real tough love Buckeye fan base right now. And we got the 60% Buckeyes get revenge, no doubt.
Against the what's the name of the duck again? What's
Puddles. Puddles.
CB told me that
I think it's Puddles.
When he was out there, Oregon fans don't like that.
No, yeah, so they're
They don't
very
like the name?
adamant. They're very adamant that the name is not Puddles. That was the name of a live mascot back when I think they were called the Webfoots. In fact, it's actually just called the Duck.
Which is
That's right.
That's just weak. He's Puddles. We're calling him Puddles. I don't care. Your duck's name is Puddles.
Puddles.
If they, that being Oregon, clip Illinois this weekend, there's another ranked opponent on their schedule the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And so they have Illinois this week at home, 3:30 kick, and then it's at Michigan, Maryland at Wisconsin, and Washington.
I'm going to bring it up.
Madison?
I know I've been on this. I'll admit if I'm wrong. One of those has got to get dicey on the road. You cannot go from Eugene to West Lafayette to back home to Eugene to Ann Arbor to back to Eugene to Madison and then back home without one of those games on the road getting dicey, right? And
dicey or losing.
Before the year, I thought maybe they'd got in one of those. But now that I've seen them against Ohio State, I at least have to admit, after the Idaho-Boise State game, I thought for sure they would lose one of those games deep into November because of just the travel alone with no bye week. Now that they beat Ohio State and they have so much to protect, they should be focused the whole way. But you're just wondering whether that schedule,
here's
the
what I
back
have to give them real quick before we get to Max. I have to give them not going into Purdue and getting and walking through that, sleepwalking through that, because that was a Friday night game right after Ohio State, and they looked the part. So I got to give them that.
They did, because I took the 29.5. And Purdue had a chance to actually cover that at the very end. Yeah. And of course, but a 0 on your home field. Nice job. Nice job, Boilers. Bang the drum. All right, Max Chadwick is with us now, Pro Football Focus, college football reporter, and a lot more. Max, welcome back.
How's it going, guys?
Outstanding. I want to find out who you trust. Outside of, I'm going to make the assumption that you still trust Texas.
Yeah, I think Texas is still a team you can trust right now. I mean, Quinn Ewers has got to play a lot better, but their defense has been really, really good this year, and they at least have the best backup in the country behind him and Arch Manning if he doesn't play a lot better. So I think Texas is still one of the top 5 or so teams in the country right now.
Max, if Kalen DeBoer, Jalen Milroe and company lose to Missouri this weekend, will we be seeing Alabama in the college football playoff this year?
No, they're not. They can't make the playoff with 3 losses, in my opinion. I don't think they can get in. And especially Missouri. I mean, right now it looks like Brady Cook is going to be out for this Missouri game against Alabama. He's right now doubtful on the injury report. So if you lose to Drew Pine, the backup quarterback at Missouri, they're absolutely out. Even if Brady Cook plays, I don't think a 3-loss Alabama or any 3-loss team for that matter should get into the 12-team college football playoff. So, I think this is actually an elimination game because I think if Missouri loses that game as well, they're also out of the college football playoff race. So it's a massive game for both teams, and the loser is eliminated from the race.
I'll give you another scenario, and I'm glad you're so convicted about it. But what if they beat Missouri and they lose a very, very close one to LSU and then win the rest, and they are a 3-loss team with a win over Georgia and close losses to Tennessee and LSU, and obviously the one they anchor against Vandy? Would you give them any weight in the room at all in a tiebreaker scenario?
I probably wouldn't. No, I don't think a 3-loss team. Like last year, pretty much every 2-loss Power 4 team would have gotten into the playoff, but one. Oklahoma was the only 2-loss team, and I believe we're going to have at least enough 2-loss teams this year to make a 12-team field. So Alabama will certainly, if they beat LSU and if they lose close to LSU and they beat Missouri, they probably would have the best resume of any 3-loss team. But that still, in my opinion, wouldn't be enough to get into the 12-team playoff.
So we've got Penn State sitting in the 3-hole right now, the AP rankings. Max, when you look at what Penn State's been doing this year, do you view them as a true national championship contender at this point, or do you want to see, or do you need to see more from them to get to that level in your mind?
Yeah, listen, as a lifelong Penn State fan, I wish I could say yes, but I don't think so right now. I do think this is a team that can compete to go to the semifinals maybe or something like that, but I got to see more, especially next week against Ohio State. That's going to be a big one for them. They've looked great so far. I'm not denying that. Their defense is really good, and the offense is playing a lot better than they did last year, which is really, really encouraging. But the talent level on that team, I just don't know if it's the same as the talent level at, say, in Ohio State or in Oregon or in Georgia or in Texas. Like, I still think Penn State's a little bit behind those teams right now, but Penn State absolutely deserves to be in the top 5 for what they've done this year. I just don't know if they're actually a national title contender just yet.
We are talking with our friend Max Chadwick, Pro Football Focus. PFF has you covered. They do it all season long. We love their data, the tools, the analysis. You can sign up for PFF Plus today, and what that does is it unlocks all of their famous player grades and premium stats and all the great fantasy stuff to help win your league. Max, I feel like if Ohio State wins the rest and Oregon wins the rest, that Ohio State will be a favorite in Indy. Am I wrong?
I don't think you are. No, I think that Ohio State, it sounds weird to say this, but I still think Ohio State's probably the better team. And so I think you go to Indianapolis, and, I think Ohio State probably would be favored on a neutral site against Oregon. I mean, they lost by 1 point to Oregon in Eugene, and really, if it wasn't for Jeremiah Smith offensive pass interference, they probably would have won that game, right? So, I think Ohio State, I picked them to win the national title before the season. I'm still sticking with that pick right now. And, I would agree. I think Ohio State would be favored in Indy, and I think they probably would get revenge on Oregon in Indy as well.
And it wouldn't be that neutral, believe me.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't be. That's the problem now with the Big Ten being so nationalized that you got all over the country right now, and Ohio State obviously clearly is a lot closer to Indianapolis than Oregon is.
I want to ask you about this Iowa State team. I mean, they're just kind of one of those programs. It seems like people have decent respect for what they do. And Matt Campbell, they've had some good seasons under his tenure there for coaching up the Cyclones. But looking at them right now as the 10th ranked team in the country, Max, for the folks that haven't caught Iowa State, why do the AP voters view them as a top 10 team right now?
Well, I mean, listen, they're undefeated, and I think at this point, almost every undefeated Power 4 team should be in the top 10. There's probably like one or two I maybe wouldn't put in there, like Pitt. I still have to prove some things, and especially tonight, they played Syracuse tonight in a big game. But I think Iowa State has proven that they are a legitimate team right now. Are they actually one of the 10 best teams in the country? I don't think so. But resume-wise, they deserve to be in the top 10, absolutely. So they got two really, really good receivers, and Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins as well. And then Rocco Beck's a good quarterback. They're playing decently on defense. Like the secondary has been pretty good, but their front seven still has some issues. But, yeah, Iowa State is just winning games right now. And like I said, I don't know if they are actually a top 10 team in the country, but their resume deserves to be in the top 10, which is why I would agree that they should be in the top 10 right now.
In your opinion, is Clemson kind of false good right now, or have they found something? I know they're kind of the forgotten team because once you get whacked by Georgia the way they did, and then you don't play anybody, but they're still a top 10 in the rankings. Did they deserve to be?
Oh, no, absolutely not. I don't understand at all why Clemson is in the top 10 right now. I honestly wouldn't put them in the top 15. I think, listen, you can argue that they are one of the 10 best in the country, and I personally, I don't know if I would disagree with it too much, but at this point of the season, you got to be ranking a lot off the resumes, and what Clemson has done this year is not close to being a top 10 resume in the country, in my opinion. So, you look at what they've done, and they got killed by Georgia. They beat I believe 5 of their 6 wins are against below 500 teams. They beat Virginia, but Virginia's like solid. They're not great. They haven't really done anything this year to warrant being in the top 10 just yet. Now, they can be in the top 10 at the end of the year. I'm not denying that they have the potential to be, and their offense has looked a lot better than it did last year. Kate Klubnik especially has looked a lot better than last year. But I'm not ready to put them in the top 10 just yet, just for simply scheduling Georgia. I mean, I think we're giving them a lot of credit just for simply scheduling the Bulldogs, even though they got destroyed by them. Yeah, I don't think this is even close to being a top 10 resume in college football right now.
So Indiana's got to overcome some adversity this week without Curtis Rourke hosting now Washington. But I want to throw this at you. They run the table outside of, let's say, the Ohio State game. Indiana's getting into the playoff, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I really do. And that's why I think Indiana probably will end up in the playoff, because it's really that Ohio State game they have the rest of the year they probably shouldn't win. Other than that, they have a chance to win all these games. Now, the problem is this week against Washington, they're not going to be with Curtis Rourke, their quarterback, who's going to be out for this game with that thumb injury. So Washington's, we've seen Washington win big games before, like the Michigan game. That could be dangerous for Indiana. But if they get through that, you got Michigan State still. You got Michigan, and they should be able to beat Michigan. That could also be an interesting game, though. But, yeah, and 11-1 Indiana, absolutely, I think, will be in the college football playoff.
Boy, that would be something, man. Something really incredible if they were able to ride this out. But you're right, the Curtis Rourke thing, getting by Washington this week without him will be a somewhat of a test, so we'll see if they can handle it. Max, great job. Always appreciate you having you on.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Max is on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline.
Music to your ears, isn't it?
It's a special season, there's no doubt. And you heard me say it in the very beginning. When they were like 4-0 or 5, we had a little fun. I looked at you and I said, two things matter. Beat Michigan, because that's significant, at least from a branding standpoint, and beat Purdue. And you get them both at home. Yeah. And I got close to saying, well, no, I said they should beat Michigan. After I saw what Michigan was, and I see who Indiana's now, that I can say that, complete honesty, massive disappointment if they don't beat Michigan this year. You've got what it takes.
Massive
You know who they
like
are. Well, because it's the opportunity and the chance. You can't waste that. This isn't fake. They're good. They're not great.
So what you're saying is Jack Tuttle doesn't scare anybody. Doesn't scare
That's
anybody.
What they think of him. He's playing against them, and they're good with it.
Revenge
That's
game
what
for
they
him,
think.
isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Is he going to be the quarterback by the time they play
Who
Indiana?
knows? They don't know. They don't know what they're doing at quarterback. It's a fair question.
By the way, the one game that I really regret switching, and I remember doing it on the show here live, was when I had Washington all teed up against them, and I switched it. And you thought the running, they could still run on them, and I got so like, all right, give Michigan one more chance, and Washington got him.
Quarterback play is a mess, to say the least.
Yeah, nobody knows what to really think of them. You want to give them whatever, I don't know, whatever.
We know what to think. They're not good. They're not a good football team, Michigan.
I guess where I'm at with that is sometimes when you have teams that have decent talent on defense and can run the football, and you get into late November, when that becomes a little more of a priority, you give them a chance to at least hang in with teams because of those two
things.
That's
There's a chance
it.
that they're coming into Ohio State with 5 losses.
Yes.
They got Oregon and Indiana still on the schedule.
The question becomes Ohio State's favored by 25.5 over Nebraska. Could it be that much against Michigan?
Probably not. Just because of the mystique of the
What
game.
is it now? 18.5 or something like that? Yeah. All right, we'll come back with pre-snap reads. Matty, Jamison Williams has been suspended, but he put out a statement today that he's still a little confused about the whole thing. I'll read it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan.
Breaking.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Friday night in the Buckeye State means only one thing. High school football, baby. Join Ryan Baker and Coach Lee Cochran for Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime.
Friday night at 9:30.
Your home of all things football. The Fan. Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something. Does it solve a problem? It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your furnace is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Get Eco.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of Bernie Moreno shredding evidence to avoid paying his employees. You see, Moreno refused to pay his employees the overtime pay they earn, so they sued him. And after a court ordered Moreno to keep the evidence of his wage theft, what did he do? That's right, he shredded it. Moreno even admitted to shredding evidence in court. He was found liable for wage theft, and a court forced him to pay over $400,000. Innocent people don't shred evidence. And now that Bernie Moreno is running for Senate, he doesn't want to talk about how he was caught ripping off his employees. And that begs the question, Do you want a guy like that representing you in the Senate? Bernie Moreno. You can't trust him to be for you. United Association of Plumbers and Pipe Fitters paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. UA.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A lot of sunshine out there today, but much cooler. Highs only around 63. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 39. 70 for tomorrow with a 20% chance of rain. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365 is the exclusive online sportsbook of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by the Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, Ice, a little Bet365 time.
Like LA Knight says, let me talk to you because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5.
All right, I was trying to cook up a little same-game parlay on Bet365 tonight because that's always fun, but I'm going to just zero in on a little two-way parlay. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson over 84.5 receiving yards, and I'm going to take Kyron Williams under 73.5 rushing yards. Both of those are going off at minus 120, so you figure out the odds, and I'll play that two-way parlay.
You just tell us to do the math on our own?
Exactly.
I'm going with an anytime touchdown for Mr. Cooper Kupp. He's back. The chemistry between he and Matthew Stafford, we know it's there. Plus 125. I like the juice on that. Even if Puka does play, we know Stafford's going to be peppering Cooper Kupp with targets. So, yeah, give me an anytime tutty for Cooper Kupp at plus 125. Have you done the math, or are you still leaving that up to us? Do we need to pull out our Texas
I think it gets me to – does that get me to plus 230? I'll have to check. Right. I'll do that. I do not have that at the ready for you.
Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
It's probably somewhere in the vicinity of 2-1, but
okay. I'll trust you on that.
All right, I do want to play this fun little clip for you real fast, Maddie, and get your reaction to this. The New York Jets, led by Aaron Rodgers with his hammy, who knows whether he's playing or not, in their game against the Patriots on the road at 1 o'clock. But they were asking about being 2-5 and basically where the season is.
Well, has this year been harder than you thought it would be, just physically and getting the team all together and going in the right direction?
I mean, every year presents its own challenges, and thankfully we're not to the denouement of this season. You know, there's still a lot of time left. I think it's important that we all just stay as sanguine as possible. You know, it's a long season. There's a lot of ups and downs. We've had a lot of adversity already this season. We just got to stick together and get one and then start to build off of that.
Good for Aaron. He's decided not to read his playbook, but he's reading the thesaurus now, or the dictionary.
This guy.
The denouement.
I don't even want to know what the definition is.
So I didn't know either one, full honesty. But, doing right by the show, I didn't want to leave it as a mystery. So the little French word that he spit out there is like basically the end. We're not at the end of the season.
Thanks, Aaron.
And then the sanguine means optimistic.
Okay.
So, yes, he went full,
thank you.
As people are saying, full SAT on us there.
Thank you, Professor Aaron.
What'd you get on your verbal score on your SAT, Aaron?
This is like when he tried to convince all of us that the definition of mandatory that's been around for hundreds of years wasn't the definition. Like, who is this guy?
It's not mandatory to a man.
This guy is just out. He's just out there, man. He's absolutely out there.
The best tweet I saw in response was, I'm glad this guy's at the denouement of his career.
Yeah, he's just not a guy. That
I may need him this week, though, so I can't crush him.
You're eating doves with
that's
Jameis.
right. I may go with Jameis if Jaden doesn't play, which doesn't look like he will.
Jameis Winston season up there in the land.
Thought you'd enjoy that.
I can't say that I did, but I appreciate you grinding, big dog.
Exactly. Doing it for the people. All right.
Oh, man. What's this Jameson Williams statement you got over there? What he said?
Yes. Thank you.
You teased that, didn't you?
I
That's
did.
what I'm here for, man.
I got off course.
I got your back.
So Jameson Williams, the receiver for the Lions, says that this week he was notified by the league that he's been suspended for the violation of PEDs, or performance-enhancing substances. And he writes, the news came as a complete surprise that I'm still trying to understand. I don't take supplements or vitamins, and I'm overly cautious about even taking over-the-counter medicine. At no time have I ever taken something in an attempt to cheat or look for an unfair advantage. I understand that I am responsible for everything that goes into my body, and I have to take accountability in this instance. Well, he goes, it is disappointing to accept this suspension, and it will hurt me to be away from the team. All right. I think if you're going to write a statement on that you have no clue how this happened, then give us a little more. What do you think it might be? Because you have an idea. Because you and I would know, like, you can't be a professional athlete and keep peddling this. I don't take anything. I know everything that goes in my body, but somehow I tested positive this week. Like, I don't know.
It's a tough sell.
I mean, here's the deal. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt if you could just follow up with, what do you think it might be? Someone didn't come in the middle of your sleep and try to, make sure that you were suspended. So it's just...
Yeah, it's a tough sell.
It's a tough sell. Right?
It is, and he's just had these massive too strong,
good.
but he's just, I was going to say, he has, to your point, he's had these speed bumps, right? Just coming into the league, whether it was injury or suspension with the betting stuff, even though he didn't bet. I believe, if I'm remembering that correctly, on the NFL, but he was in the facility or whatever that weird rule was there. And then now here we are with this and him getting popped for a couple games. So, man, you just,
Maddie,
yeah.
I'm glad you brought up the gambling real fast. He did place a bet on a non-NFL game, and that's why everybody freaked. But he said at the time he didn't remember what he gambled on or when he did it. It's almost... So wait a minute.
You know what?
I may have made a bet, but I don't remember making any bet.
I think I figured this out. Maybe his best friend is Will Smith from Men in Black, and he just keeps coming around with that zapping tool that just zaps your memory, and he just doesn't remember anything.
Or it's Rick Rock and Shaggy. Wasn't me. All right. There's your pre-snap read for today.
Did you know the Columbus Men's Clinic is celebrating 10 years of treating thousands and thousands of local men? The Columbus Men's Clinic is the largest and most experienced men's health practice in Columbus for a decade. The Columbus Men's Clinic have done this all day, every day. It's all they specialize in, and they've gotten a lot better over the years. Higher success rates, better administrative and medical staff, more treatments, and more happy patients and partners. Their ED, low T, and weight loss treatments truly change lives, and their experience makes the difference. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400, or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
Second round pick all the way to Canton. Isaac Bruce, the Pro Football Hall of Fame receiver on the greatest show on turf, joins us next for a Gold Jacket Thursday. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub, you get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change wants you to breathe out your oil change-anxiety. And breathe in automotive peace. Visit us today.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Quality, transparency, integrity, craftsmanship, and consistency. Those are the words that seem lost by many in the construction industry, but not on Newman Roofing. Because when your name is on it, it just means more. NewmanRoofing.com.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the fan. Very good. Now set the second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the fan's HD3 and save the fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Just announced for the rest of Rocktober, we're lowering the finance rate to 0.9% on every new Lindsay Honda. And you still get the Lindsay Honda difference. A $1,295 value package included with every vehicle purchase.
This is it.
Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24 and 25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Bob Yoakum, president of Rockford Homes, talks about what makes First Bank of Central Ohio different.
I would say it starts by caring. It starts by doing what you say you're going to do and following through on it. When you're talking about local, you're talking about relationships and people that matter to you. I don't care if that's personally or professionally.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Direct Auto Insurance is for uncompromisers. The people who refuse to make trade-offs in life. Like Kelly, when her old car insurance got so expensive that she couldn't afford to drive anymore, do you think she started carrying her groceries for miles? No. But she did find Direct Auto's savings that allowed her to drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25%, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a quote today at directauto.com. Savings based on applied discounts and will vary. Terms apply. How you buy can affect price. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. We're talking everything from custom Mountain Dew camp chairs and backpack coolers to exclusive Mountain Dew tents, fishing boats, and more. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18 plus. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
All right, welcome back in. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday, and when you talk about can't miss guys, he was it, but he was long overdue getting his rightful spot in Canton, Ohio. It was just a matter of time for 2020 Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee and Super Bowl champ Isaac Bruce to be enshrined. Isaac, it is outstanding to have you. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. I think this is my first time being able to speak to and through the city of Columbus, Ohio, man. I'm very honored. Heard a lot about the city. Big friends with the great Orlando Pace. I'm sure you guys have retired everything that he's ever wore in Columbus. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. We'll definitely get into that here in a few minutes. Let me take you back. Drafted in '94 to the L.A. Rams. They moved to St. Louis. From my memory, you had some real tough seasons before our guy Orlando Pace gets drafted in '97, but That overnight success, Isaac, from I think 4 wins in 98 to a Super Bowl championship in 99. Take us through that unbelievable transformation.
Well, I think to the eyes outside of our building, it may have seemed overnight, but there was a lot of work that went into, what we were able to put together in 1999. There was a lot of hard work. I think Coach Dick Vermeil, he brought in and had a lot of wonderful coaches on his coaching staff, coaches who had been in head coaching positions throughout the National Football League. So that combination of leadership helped to instill a winning attitude into most of the players that were on that team at that time, although it didn't really start to manifest until 1999, but a lot of hard work went into that season. And when we went into the off season in 1998, we were able to grab via the draft, via the free agency and trade of Marshall Faulk, and brought guys in like Adam Timberman. We brought guys in like Torrey Holt and Trent Green, and we were able to just put together a team and mesh under the leadership of one of the great coaching minds that this league has ever seen, and Coach Mike Martz, and put together a product on the field that's often trying to be matched, but I don't think has been matched yet.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The greatest show on turf. It was just so entertaining to watch you guys do your thing. I wanted to ask you about yourself, Torrey, and Marshall, and just the pairing and the meshing of that skill set. Take us inside what that was like for you week in and week out to work together as a great duo at receiver and then also a great running back, and how you guys were able to stress out defenses.
Well, with the two receivers that you need, there's almost 30,000, career receiving yards between the two of us, and then you add Marshall Faulk and his production level. You got to realize that there was only one ball that we were playing with. So that's going to take some maturity. That's going to take some egoless playing football, and that's probably the biggest asset that we all brought to the table, being able to celebrate each other, being able to be, when called upon, the greatest decoy that you have to be in order for the other guy to get the football and do his thing.
He is Isaac Bruce, still top 5 all time. In fact, if I can get a uniform and a helmet on him, we get him 84 more yards, he'll track down Randy Moss. Maybe today. We can get that done. All right, so here's the interesting question, I think, is what did you know about Kurt Warner before you had to actually insert him into the lineup? So obviously Green goes down. It's very tough, disappointing. Vermeil comes in, who I think was just an incredible guy, not just a coach, but rallying around Kurt Warner. What did you know about him? What was your confidence at that point?
Well, we didn't know much about Kurt as a team. Kurt was the backup quarterback in 1998, and when you're a backup, your job is to prepare. When you're a backup quarterback, your job is to prepare the defense for the offense that they're getting ready to face that week. So, Kurt was pretty much relegated to that position, that point. But, as far as having opportunities to play with the first team offense, it just didn't happen. So when he came in and took over for Trent after Trent, blew his knee out, it was a sort of a rush job as far as getting to know the guys in that offense. I think he was handed the keys to, what many people call the Ferrari. And his job was to distribute the football, make sure that, everyone was in place, be accurate with the football, and make the right decisions. So he did that tremendously. I think about 8 weeks into that mode, he was able to be comfortable and then really had an opportunity to release and show his talents, his ability to anticipate and throw the football, and he did it tremendously.
Isaac, had you heard of Kurt Warner when he was tearing up the Arena League while you were with the Rams in the early years? Did you even hear his name?
You know what, to be honest, when I first saw the name Kurt Warner, and I think I saw that name in the training room. We had these programs for where the strength coach had put a program together for every player. And I happened to be looking for my name. I saw the name Kurt Warner, and I'm thinking, wow, the guy from Seattle is coming to us to play running back. It's been a while. So I thought he's going to be an old running back playing for us. So just to be honest, no, I hadn't. When you're playing at the highest level of football, you sort of glance at other other levels of football professionally if you're not watching college football. So to answer that question, the answer is no. But like I said, when he finally came in and took over and allowed himself to be that person, to be the guy, he turned into an MVP.
Isaac, over the last couple of days, there's been some rumors about a current Rams wide receiver in Cooper Kupp, and maybe he could be on the move. I would love to get your take on that and whether or not you think they should move on from Cooper Kupp, or would you like to see them continue what they've been building with he and Puka Nacua?
Yeah, listen, I'm of the belief that you always need two guys on the perimeter, to be a very high functional offense. So him with the combination of Puka Nacua, I think, they should give it an opportunity just to see what they have, because I don't think they've spent that much time on the field together. Puka's been hurt. Kupp has been hurt. And this season, we started off with a lot of injuries. So I don't think the full offense has had an opportunity to go out and play. So I would pass on trading Cooper this year and give him an opportunity to come back and play as a full unit.
Pro Football Hall of Famer, wide receiver Isaac Bruce with us, the residency program in Canton, Ohio. Yeah. He's back in football heaven this weekend. You'll be able to meet and greet with Isaac Bruce Saturday morning. He'll be surprising guests as they come into the Hall of Fame, 9:30 to 10:15. He'll also do a Q&A in the Super Bowl Theater from 10:30 to 11 on Saturday. What a treat. You win the Super Bowl, you go back to the Super Bowl, I believe, a couple years later. My memory says you were big favorites over the Patriots. What were you thinking of leading up to that game, and what still sticks with you now, Isaac, about the second chance?
Well, that game, Super Bowl 36, we were 14-point favorites. We had played the Patriots in a Sunday night football game in Foxborough and really just narrowly pulled it out, a victory in that game. So my thinking heading into that game is that, we're playing in a dome where we're used to playing. We're playing on turf. We're not really concerned about what the weather would be doing, but we're playing in a dome that we were pretty familiar with. We played the Saints every year twice and once in that stadium. So we're confident that we were going to that game and execute at a high level and then end up winning that game. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. But later down the road, we found out some things that probably may have transpired in that game. But you got to take your hats off to what the Patriots did that game.
Yeah, I don't want to walk into anything weird, but I think you were talking about the alleged taping of your walkthrough.
Yeah, you want to make sure you say allegedly. So, yeah. We don't want to get anybody in trouble, but absolutely, Spygate was a heavy topic at that time, and just to see everything come out. Kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Orlando Pace, we talked about him earlier. He gets there in 97, so kind of right in the middle of that sandwich. Any great stories about Orlando? I know you guys relied on him for everything you did, all the time that Kurt needed, but anything that sticks out about your former teammate, the gentle giant, maybe not when he was playing, he wasn't gentle, but yeah. I covered him here at Ohio State, and what a force he was.
He was definitely a force, and when you mentioned Orlando Pace and you mentioned the greatest show on turf, we always talk about, the guys on the perimeter, the running back, the quarterback. But you take the quarterback out of that offense, we could probably still function for about maybe 8 or 9 weeks. You take myself, Torrey out of that offense, you can probably function for about 10 weeks. Take Marshall out, maybe 4 or 5. But if you remove Orlando Pace from what we were doing, yeah, it's going to be big problems because, he had the ability to X out a lot of great pass rushers. You can slide the offensive line one way and leave him backside with just that, premier pass rusher, and he could X that guy out.
Isaac Bruce, Hall of Fame greeting with a Hall of Famer. Start your visit at the Hall of Fame Saturday morning. Talking to Isaac Bruce, class of 2020, greeting guests as they begin their tour of football heaven. My man, this was a pleasure. Be well, continued success in whatever you do, and I'm so glad you're back in Canton. Enjoy it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Number 80 in the rafters forever, retired. Los Angeles Ram, St. Louis Ram, Isaac Bruce. All right, we come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Men, if erectile dysfunction is affecting you, getting treated could have a dramatic impact on your relationship and your outlook on life. But it's also important where you get treated because your health matters. And working with an organization that practices excellent medicine and has significant expertise in men's sexual health can often result in a far better outcome. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're seeking a quality provider to treat your ED or are just not satisfied with your current situation, call us. We'll show you a true 5-star experience and work with you to find the right treatment for your specific medical situation. At Tri-State Men's Health, we truly are experts in men's sexual health. But it's more than that. Unlike the online pill pushers or so-called men's clinics that only offer one or a few treatment options, we offer the full spectrum of ED protocols. We can even use combinative therapies for better results. At Tri-State Men's Health, your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Trust and Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Trust and Will makes creating your will easy, like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Trust and Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at trustandwill.com and use offer code Columbus now for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
The Buckeye Show.
And he threw for 400 yards. But maybe you held them to 35 rushing yards. You didn't give them an inch. But that's not the case.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by Care Source.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Hear those leaves crunching under your feet? Feel that cool nighttime air? It's definitely fall in Ohio. Fall is the perfect time to have the Waterworks inspect and tune up your furnace before the cold winter months hit. To inspect and protect your family against those wintertime furnace breakdowns, call 614-232-2222. Or visit thewaterworks.com today to schedule your fall furnace inspection and tune-up. Winter is just days away.
There's a place where mishaps don't mean missing out. Welcome to AAA's The Plus Side, where a AAA Plus membership means that an empty gas tank won't keep you from a full day, where a flat tire doesn't have to deflate your mood, where being locked out doesn't mean you'll be out of luck for long, and where a dead battery can't stop you from being the life of the party.
Looks like you're all set here. Have a good rest of the day.
Because on the plus side, roadside mishaps don't have to ruin your day. With AAA Plus, you're covered with the gold standard in roadside assistance, whenever and wherever you need it. Tire changes, battery swaps, and emergency fuel are just a tap, click, or call away. AAA gets to you faster, and if you need a tow, we'll take you further, anywhere within 100 miles. Become a AAA Plus member today and experience the peace of mind that comes when you live on the plus side. Towing is subject to a 7-day waiting period. Terms and conditions apply. Service is only available from AAA and CAA in North America.
Looking for your next Subaru? At Byers Airport Subaru, we give you options from start to finish. Browse and shop entirely online from the comfort of your home at columbussubaru.com or stop by and visit one of our friendly brand specialists just by the airport.
Right now, you can get a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 2.9% for up to 72 months.
Whether you prefer to click or come in, we've got you covered. Your journey starts at Byers Airport Subaru. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 10/31/24.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
All right, CB, take us home.
All right, today's National Day of Today. It's a very simple one. It's National Food Day. So the question is, tell the truth. What is one food you could never give up, no matter the circumstances?
I think I could give up Cheez-Its. I think I could. I was starting to think about that when you were saying, what could I give up and what I eat all the time?
But it's the one you can't give up, no matter the circumstance.
I don't think there's anything that no matter the circumstance, like if you said to me, hey, I'll give you X amount of money if you stopped eating this, I probably would do it. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. I could probably give up. I told you if the Vikings win the Super Bowl, I did say I'd give up pizza, but then you gave me an out and said a year, I think. Or
well, I thought we came to an agreement that you would have to do it until we got to the memorial.
That's it. And it's
easy.
Too easy. You'd have to pin me down to a year.
Like you got to do the
get to another football season.
The Matty Ice French Fry Challenge.
Yes.
Like I just did.
Yes.
For an entire calendar year.
From February to February, if the Vikings...
Not a sliver of pizza.
Now, I did say to you that if they made the Super Bowl, I would do it. But I don't know if there's any real reward there other than...
You'd want them to win it.
Yeah.
Live off that high for a year and not. So it'd be pizza for you?
Yeah, I think it would have to be pizza.
I think this has to be wings, CB. I just don't think I could ever give up chicken wings.
Maddie like wingy.
Yeah, man. There's just so many different ways you can go about it with all the different sauces.
Maddie's all about it.
You can do. I'm telling you, man. Like, you just get you some good wings, and it's just always a win. I'm a fan of boneless wings. Like, I know that can get into a debate for people, but... Yes, CB, I just wouldn't be able to give them up, man. I got to have those chicken wings.
Just started thinking we just had Isaac Bruce on. I was talking about the late 90s. Just about it.
About it.
Just find out right now today is true.
All right, the Yankees and Aaron Boone said they wouldn't be surprised by it, but it hasn't happened in quite a while for Shohei Ohtani, and that is throwing the baseball from the mound. My question to you is, tell the truth. Will the Dodgers at some point maybe use Ohtani in a pitching role?
I think if we get to...
No, don't say it.
If we get to a Game 7, and that would be in Dodger Stadium, because it's a 2-3-2 format, so they'll start in L.A. this weekend, then go to the Bronx, and then come back for 2. If this goes to Game 7, how could you not?
I'll tell you why.
How
you are so invested in long-term health of that elbow that you would never do it.
Here's the thing.
I think there's zero chance of this happening.
You got nothing from his right elbow this year, and he's going to win the daggone MVP.
But I need him to keep...
He's been throwing bullpens. So this isn't like he's just done nothing. He's been throwing bullpens. CB, if it's Game 7, if I'm Dave Roberts, and it's the 8th inning, and I got Soto and Judge and Stanton coming up, hey, big dog, we need 3 outs. You got to spin the pill.
I think it's fun for them to keep the dream alive, because why wouldn't you make the Yankees just think about it? But I think they shut down that talk pretty quickly when the NLCS rolled around. And when they asked if he was available for the late time in that series, he said he's not. Thanks for asking. Like, Dave Roberts was asked point blank, if you get to the point where you talked about. So if you're wondering whether he would suit up to pitch in the World Series, I'm going to say he won't be, no matter under any circumstance.
Why would you worry?
All right, we will get your World Series predictions tomorrow, but this is just about the side you're polling for, because it's today's fan poll. Which team are you rooting for in the World Series? Is it the Yankees, the Dodgers, or don't care?
I'm kind of in the middle of Dodgers don't care, but I'll lean in for my boy Tim Belcher, and I'll root for his Dodgers. And I'll tell you another thing. It would be nice for them to win it in the memory of Fernando Valenzuela, who's gone too young this week. And Belch told me what a good teammate he was and how just funny as hell. And they'll be wearing the 34 patch on their unis for the World Series. And I remember Fernando Mania, and it was something special. So I'm in the middle of Dodgers don't care, but I'll lean into L.A.
Because I love Sofia Falcone so much, I want her to be able to go to the Yankees parade in Gotham City. So I'm rooting for the Yankees.
Why you always lying?
All right, the final one's a would you rather. Would you rather have hair down to your ankles or be bald?
Oh, give me the Michael Jordan. I'm going bald.
Yeah, absolutely. Cue ball it up, clean it up. Who wants hair down to the floor? There's no reason for that. So, aerodynamic, as CB likes to say.
Shall set you free.
Hey, if you missed anything from our show today, we had Gold Jacket Thursday with the Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce. If you missed anything, wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice everything we do from noon to 3 or 1 to 3 today, but also noon to 3 on regular days. We'll be waiting for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. And you know what? If you're feeling nice, leave us 5 stars. That ain't going to hurt anybody. Coming up on Common Man and T-Bone, Timmy Hall in for Common Man. Adam Rittenberg joins at 3:34 to talk all things Big Ten and college football.
Football Friday tomorrow. Bucks are back in business, and that means we are as well. Join us at high noon. Keep it locked here. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Marquee matchups in college football this weekend. LSU is a 3.5-point underdog at Texas A&M, and Notre Dame heads to Annapolis to play undefeated Navy. The Irish are a 12.5-point favorite. Buckeyes 25.5-point favorites over Nebraska. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
The Christmas cash giveaways now at UDF. With UDrive Plus, 1 in 7 can play to win prizes instantly, including $1,000 weekly by buying specially marked items at UDF. No purchase necessary. Visit udrivecontest.com for official rules.
Just how liberal is Sherrod Brown? Take a look at his actual votes. That's what Debbie from the Cleveland area did.
I thought I knew Sherrod Brown. Now I hear he's super liberal, so I went and looked at his votes. Brown voted to allow late-term partial birth abortions. It's horrific. The AMA said it should be banned, but Sherrod voted for it more than once.
In fact, Sherrod Brown voted for partial birth abortion 6 different times.
Partial birth abortion? Allowing trans biological men in girls' locker rooms and girls' sports? Sex change surgery for kids? He seemed like a good guy, but with Brown's voting record, I just can't vote for him.
Sherrod Brown has let us down. When you look at his actual votes, Sherrod Brown is just way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. We often hear businesses say that they are, quote, family-owned and operated, which leads you to think, how often are the owners of the company involved in day-to-day operations? Well, when it comes to Newman Roofing, I can personally tell you that I met with Tim. I met with his daughters. They have 4 family members of Newman Roofing overseeing the different divisions of the company, ensuring that an excellent customer service experience is going to be provided to you every time. Folks, I can personally testify they were great with my wife and I, and they will do the same for you. With Newman Roofing, their family focuses on every detail, and it allows them to deliver that white glove experience, not just for me, but for everyone, that you're not going to get with those larger corporations. 32 years in business, 3 generations in the roofing industry. They can do it all, and they will take care of you. So before those winter storms hit, have Newman Roofing come out and take a look. Whether it's a repair or replacement, Newman has you covered at 614-NEW-ROOF or newmanroofing.com.